ready to jack in.
Today we're diving into Ernest Cline's Ready Player One.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Another deep dive on a book-turned-blockbuster.
But trust me on this, we're not just hitting rewind on the plot.
We're going deeper, way deeper.
Like, think layers beneath the 80s nostalgia and all those awesome virtual reality adventures.
We're talking straight-up excerpts from the book, kind of like a digital archaeological dig.
And let me tell you, this book, it's a gold mine.
But before we go full-on treasure hunter, tell me something.
Have you ever, really felt that pull, to just escape?
That urge to just disappear into some digital world where nothing real matters.
See, that's the thing with Keith Kline. He taps right into that feeling.
But then he twists it.
Makes you question the whole idea of escapism.
He throws us into this future that's less bright lights, big city, and more like dim bulbs, busted infrastructure.
I'm talking energy crises, climate change going haywire. Kline doesn't hold back.
He paints this picture right. Stacked trailers instead of houses. Food shortages are the norm, and everybody's glued to VR just to feel something good.
What's really striking is how Kline doesn't just use this whole dystopian future as background noise.
He makes it hit home,
Take the main character, for example. He's stuck in these cramped, stacked trailers.
And his own aunt tries to pawn his laptop. His only way to escape to the OASIS, just to make rent.
Talk about a reality check. It's like that line between wanting to escape and, needing to escape gets razor thin.
Makes you wonder if Kline's trying to tell us something, about how much we rely on technology these days.
It's a question that pops up all over the book, especially when you look at the OASIS itself, right?
It's this vibrant, anything-goes playground, a total 180 from the real world.
You can't help but feel the pull, that seductive power of a world without rules.
And Kline, he knows exactly how to play us. The guy's a master at pushing those nostalgia buttons.
I mean, the OASIS is overflowing with 80s pop culture, from Joust and War Games to Pac-Man and even Rush.
But here's the thing. He doesn't just sprinkle these references in for fun.
They're woven into the story. They're clues in this massive scavenger hunt.
And that's where it gets really interesting.
This isn't just Kline geeking out, although he kind of is.
But there's this deliberate commentary he's making about the power nostalgia has over us, especially when things are uncertain.
Think about it. When the real world feels like it's falling apart, wouldn't you want to escape back to simpler times, even if it's all just a fantasy?
Especially when the guy who created the OASIS, this enigmatic James Halliday, based the whole contest on his childhood.
Talk about a trip down memory lane.
Which begs the question, is this healthy nostalgia? Is it a good way to connect to something meaningful?
Or is it just a way of avoiding all the messy stuff happening in the present? Kline doesn't make it easy on us, that's for sure.
He wants us to wrestle with that tension.
Speaking of wrestling with things, let's talk about identity for a sec.
Because in a world where you can change anything about yourself, who are you really?
Kline's main character, he's stuck right in the middle of this, trying to figure out where his real identity ends and his online one begins.
You see this play out some pretty interesting ways.
In the real world, he's just another face in the crowd. But online, in the OASIS, he's this confident hero.
Makes you think about the masks we all wear, Not just online, but in real life, too.
And Kline isn't afraid to show the risks of all this either. Things get real when IOI, this shady corporation, decides they're going to unmask the protagonist.
Suddenly, hiding in the virtual world doesn't feel so safe anymore.
Exactly. It's like Kline is shining a light on the double-edged sword of technology.
On one hand, you can reinvent yourself, explore different sides of yourself, but on the other hand, there's always that threat that someone's watching, that your identity could be stolen, or worse.
And you know what I find fascinating? How Kline flips the script on the protagonist's relationships, like his best friend in the OASIS, the one he thinks he knows inside and out, turns out to be completely different in real life.
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about connecting with people online, doesn't it?
How well can you really know someone when you're both hiding behind carefully crafted avatars?
It makes you wonder, in a world where technology runs the show, how do we even build real, genuine connections anymore?
Yeah, and maybe even more importantly, what does genuine connection even mean anymore when the lines between the real world and the virtual world are so blurred?
It's like Kline is holding up a mirror, right? Making us face the weird, complicated relationship we have with identity and connection in this digital age.
And it gets even more interesting when you remember that for a book obsessed with virtual reality, Ready Player One is really a story about the power of human connection.
You'd think in a place like the OASIS, this massive virtual world, teamwork wouldn't even be a thing, right? But Kleinlein, he throws a curveball.
He does.
Shows us that even in a digital utopia, we still crave that human connection.
It's like we can't escape it, even when we're plugged into a whole other reality.
Exactly. And it's highlighted perfectly in the protagonist's relationship with R3MS.
Oh yeah, they're a fascinating case study in, like, rivalry, respect, and maybe even something more.
Totally. I mean, they start as competitors, both gunning for that top spot, but there's this undeniable chemistry.
Klein does a good job of letting that simmer beneath the surface.
He does, and it boils over in their first real-life meeting.
Talk about a reality check. Klein could have made that scene a cliché Hollywood moment.
Right. But he doesn't.
Instead, we get this awkward, relatable encounter reminding us that what we see online
Doesn't always translate to real life.
Precisely. And it begs the question, can a relationship that starts online, even one built on shared passions, survive the leap to face-to-face?
It makes you appreciate those characters who ground the protagonist, like Each.
Each. Now, there's a character who really throws a wrench in our assumptions about online identity.
For sure. And without giving too much away, that reveal.
Makes you realize that the digital world can break down barriers in ways we don't expect.
Absolutely. And let's not forget Dato and Shoto.
The brothers.
Yeah, they add a whole other layer to this idea of partnership.
From the moment they're introduced, you see that bond. They're like these mythical figures.
Almost like they share one mind sometimes, moving in sync.
And when tragedy strikes?
Man, it hits hard. Dato's death is a gut punch, no way around it. But it highlights something else, too.
The depth of their connection.
Yeah, and the lengths we'll go to for those we care about, even in a virtual world, which I think is what ultimately brings the high five together.
The realization that they're stronger as a team.
Exactly. They realize that all the individual goals, all the personal desires, they pale in comparison to the friendships they've formed.
And to the shared dream they're fighting for.
Okay, so we've talked about the dystopian reality, the nostalgia, the identity stuff, and the power of connection.
Right.
But let's get to the heart of it, the contest itself.
Yes. Because this isn't just about winning a game, is it?
Not even close.
It's about understanding the mind of the creator, James Halliday. Each challenge, each hidden clue, it's all a window into who he was, what he loved.
It's like Klein's inviting us on this archaeological dig into this guy's psyche.
And what better tool to use than 80s pop culture?
I mean, that's the key to Halliday's heart, right?
Exactly. And you see it everywhere. Like the Tomb of Horrors, for instance. He takes this notoriously difficult dungeon from Dungeons & Dragons.
Which, by the way, hardcore D&D fans will appreciate that deep cut.
Absolutely. But he doesn't just recreate it, he elevates it. It becomes this commentary on gaming itself, on the nature of challenges and rewards.
And the way he uses Joust, that classic arcade game, as the key to the whole thing.
Genius.
Pure genius. It's like he's saying, don't underestimate the power of these seemingly simple games. There's depth there, you just have to look for it.
Klein's a master of that, finding depth in the unexpected. And he does it again with the challenge for the copper key.
Right. Totally different vibe.
Instead of some physical test, he throws in a challenge from one of the most iconic 80s movies ever, War Games.
Such a good movie.
And it's not just a random reference, is it? War Games, with its themes of AI and the potential for technology to get out of control.
It's scary relevant, especially in the context of the OASIS.
Exactly. Klein's making us think about the potential consequences of our own tech dependence.
And how he makes you relive the movie, recreating scenes and dialogue.
So clever.
It's classic Klein, blending pop culture with these really thought-provoking themes.
And let's not forget the crystal key, hidden within the music of Rush.
Okay, I have to admit, as much as I love the 80s, Rush isn't exactly my jam.
I hear you. But again, it's not about just knowing the lyrics or being a virtuoso on a virtual guitar.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that.
Oh, I get it. It's about connecting with the emotion behind the music, the ideas that fueled it.
Exactly. Trad fandom, as Klein seems to be saying, isn't just about surface-level appreciation.
Right.
It's about connecting with the heart and soul of what you love.
Okay, that makes sense. So where does that leave us with the Jade Key, the final key?
Now, this is where Klein takes a fascinating turn. Away from gaming and movies and into something deeply personal.
Halliday's personal life?
Exactly. Specifically, his love for the band Rush.
So it's getting personal.
Very personal. And I have to hand it to Klein. He takes this niche interest, this prog rock band that some might find a little out. out there.
To say the least.
And he turns it into this incredibly moving quest for self-discovery. It's like he's saying, even our most obscure passions, the things that make us feel like outsiders, can connect us to something profound.
I like that. Finding meaning in unexpected places.
Exactly. And he doesn't shy away from the complexity of Halliday's obsession either. Yes, you see the joy and the passion, but
But there's pain there too, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Regret, missed opportunities, all the things that might have fueled Halliday's retreat into the OASIS in the first place.
So the challenge itself, it's not just about knowing trivia.
No. You have to understand Halliday's heart, his motivations, his heartbreaks. To even stand a chance.
Wow. So the stakes are high, both in the game and emotionally.
They are. And that brings us to the climax of the story. The final showdown between the protagonist and the Sixers for control of the OASIS.
Talk about high stakes. I mean, things just went from 0 to 100 real quick.
No doubt. It's not a game anymore.
This is about the soul of the OASIS.
And what's crazy is it's not just about virtual land or who's the best.
Right.
It's about what the OASIS actually means to these people. Connection, a chance to create an escape from a world that's gone kind of sideways.
Klein doesn't let us forget what's happening in the real world either.
Yeah, that bombing scene.
Intense. It's a harsh reminder that the line between digital and reality can get blurry, tragically blurry.
It makes you think about the cost of this whole OASIS obsession.
Totally. And it puts a huge weight on the protagonist's shoulders.
He's got a choice to make.
Does he give in to the power?
Or does he fight for what the OASIS is supposed to be?
It's like he realizes winning isn't enough.
There's more at stake.
He has to protect what the OASIS represents, keep Halliday's dream alive.
And that's where Klein really nails it, I think. He takes this virtual war,
Which is insane on its own.
and turns it into this very human story. Courage, compassion, fighting for something bigger than yourself.
That battle for Castle Anorak. Pure adrenaline. But it's the emotional stuff that really gets you.
You see the protagonist risking it all, not for himself, but for his friends. For this idea, this hope that the OASIS represents.
It's in those moments, when everything's on the line, that he embodies the spirit of Halliday's contest.
He's not just playing the game anymore.
He's living it.
And it makes that victory so much more powerful. It's a win for anyone who believes in the power of connecting with others.
In protecting those spaces, real or virtual, where we can be ourselves.
Exactly. And it brings us full circle to that question Klein posed at the beginning. What would you do with that kind of power?
It's a heavy question.
It is. And the protagonist's answer, it's inspiring. He chooses to make the OASIS a big place for everyone.
A true digital utopia. It's a hopeful ending, but it doesn't sugarcoat things either.
Klein doesn't let us forget that the real world, with all its problems, is still out there.
It's a reminder that the fight for a better future, it never ends, whether we're plugged in or not.
And that's the beauty of Ready Player One. It's more than just an adventure or a trip down memory lane. It's a reflection of our hopes, our fears about what the future holds.
It reminds us that even with all this technology, it's the connections we forge that truly matter.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So there you have it, our deep dive into Ready Player One.
We covered a lot of ground. Dystopian futures, the allure of the past.
The mysteries of online identity, the unexpected power of human connection.
We even went deep into the mind of James Halliday, trying to understand the man behind the virtual curtain.
And through it all, we saw how, even in a world that seems to prioritize the individual, it's the bonds we form with others that give our lives purpose.
It's a message that resonates even more strongly today, I think, in a world that can feel increasingly fragmented.
So if you haven't already, give Ready Player One a read.
Or a reread. You might be surprised what you discover, not just about the story, but about yourself.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never underestimate the power of a good story.